Welcome back to Team Fortress TV. If you didn't catch us earlier, we had the Entropy and Subbase Cup, which we're continuing now, and we had a real fragfest on Entropy, followed up by a really great back and forth tug of war on Subbase, and it was Silentis' team that came out on top in that earlier game. So we're going to see them once more. They're going to be facing off against Papi's team. But I'm Dave, joined by J-Max behind the camera and Ben alongside me. How you doing?
Doing very good, yeah. Like you say, we had a great game just before this. Yes, Silentis' team came out on top, but yeah, it was a 2-0 in a very, very close fashion. We had their comeback on Subbase in that second map, and also, yeah, there was almost a comeback in the first game from Mac's team. Didn't quite make it work. Just beaten out 3-2 on that one. But yeah, no, it's been very good. We're gonna have more of these two maps again. We're going to swap them around this time, starting off on Subbase this time round. And yeah, that'll be the decider should it be needed. But yeah, on either side of the bracket, I believe Papi's team won also in 2-0 fashion against AMS's team. So this is the winners bracket. It's coming up.
Yeah, we can run through the teams, I guess. We saw the Silentis team earlier, but it's going to be Earl, Blank on the Scouts, Sil and Bud on the Soldiers, Fancy on Demo, and Trum on the Medic. The Papi team, KPN and Phoenix on the Scouts, Papi and Horns on the Soldiers, Philip on the Demo, and Auto on the Medic. So, to talk a little bit about this Papi team, I think the thing that they really have going is this Papi Horns Soldier combo is probably the best of the field. And also the fact that Papi has synergy with Auto, he's played with on Witness, and they've obviously won titles together, so that could be a big thing for them.
Yeah, I guess we've got one Witness Soldier on either team here, so let's see how them two match up.
Yeah, definitely Silentis had a really great showing on this, particularly second map of Subbase. He was making all the players, he had a feel for it, he had good initial synergy with Bud for people who, as far as I know, have never really played together. Have never even really operated in the same kind of tier of Prem at the same time. So it was good to see stuff from them, and you really got a feel from Subbase of just how dynamic this map can be. As I said earlier, it seems to just play, seamlessly as if the teams were playing as if it was just another game of Process. They had a real feel for the fast transitions, the mid fights. The teams adapted. They played it a little bit slower. They got closer as it went on, and this will be a thing. They certainly have a feel for the map now, but the level of the gameplay overall can only get stronger as they become more comfortable.
Yeah, exactly. Like you say, yeah, it's the two teams in that previous game. It was a very high level game, of course, and yeah, teams sort of picked up more on sort of how the map flows and how it plays, and yeah, we saw some little bit of innovation as the map went on. But yeah, we sort of interested again because the last time, like you said beforehand, we sort of flew through second point a fair few times. We didn't have that many engagements there except in transition. So it'd be interesting to see how that sort of area of the map plays in sort of more extended fights. But yeah, the rest of the map seemed like it felt natural to the teams who played it, and it was very good.
I think another thing is as you play maps more, the last holds become more established as well. Particularly in higher divs and in Prem, you have very kind of meta, high level metas established on all these last points. Teams are broadly playing a particular style of last point. They're holding with players pretty pretty dedicated positions. They're not going to change up that much. Particularly when you see something like Snake Water, most of the teams know exactly what's going on with that map, where players have got to hold what is optimal. With these newer maps, it's not going to be the same. So you're going to see kind of scruffier things in things like this map test cup. But I think as teams get more familiar with the map, it'll probably slow down just a little, and we'll probably get cleaner last pushes on one end, but also more kind of realised proper holds as well.
Yeah, we've been in these previous games, like particularly on sub-based teams, were sort of experimenting with various different situations. On the defensive side, like different places to like set up a combo, put sentries if it's dis, those kinds of things. And I guess obviously there is on more established maps, there is always variation in how teams decide to do that anyway. But like it felt like it was something we saw some quite weird and varied ideas that players went for.
And yeah, it's always a case of like, what can you take, from your knowledge of other maps, from your knowledge of 5CP in general. So we saw Bud going in behind to make space, which is very reminiscent of something like Gully Wash or pretty much any map where there is like a flank you can get behind on second. But also kind of where stuff doesn't apply. You might think this mid is like Granary mid, it has crates or whatever, but is it a case of because it's a bit wider that the same kind of double bomb that works perfectly on Granary isn't going to quite apply here?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we saw teams again as the map went on. We saw teams sort of slow it down a little bit on the mid, and play it sort of a bit less like a Granary mid. And yeah, there are obviously crates, and there's the sort of the high ground. There's the 2 health packs in not quite touching distance, but near the point. So it is a similarities there. But like you say, it's a lot wider. There's a lot more space, and it's a lot more scout friendly. So yeah, it's definitely unique in that aspect.
Yeah, at times there were moments where it was also reminiscent of process mid to a certain extent. The way you've got kind of the choice of which to go direction. You saw a lot of rotational play, which is obviously very common at higher kind of prem levels, particularly on Sunshine. You get kind of these rotational mids an awful lot, but be interesting to see, because one of the other things we saw a lot of on kind of both maps earlier on was kind of backup attempts. We didn't see many successful backups, but we're able to turn like a lot of heads and turn situations around just by players going in behind. And that's a case of like learning hiding spots, also knowing when to watch flanks, what the timings are as well, and also the cap times. Probably no one other than the map makers will be exactly aware of how the cap times work. So it's just a learning experience of knowing, we with 2 players, are we going to be able to back cap mid, or are we going to be able to back cap second if they're like hard stacking mid or whatever?
Yeah, I guess it also means as well you have the same sort of situation of like pushing out of last. Like we saw a couple of times where teams like there's particularly an example from last game at Max team was trying to push out of their last and they were like trying to cap up the second, but they didn't manage to cap up second in time and they sort of got engaged in like a long drawn out fight. But I guess if you sort of go in having a gauge of how long it's going to take to finish off that cap, you can maybe plan your fight around that a bit more.
Yeah, I'm also kind of hoping something we might see a bit more of in these next 3 games is stalemates. Not because it's fun to watch, but we got very few opportunities where we saw like soldier sacks or teams trying to break or trying to force medics or trying to break even situations. So while I don't want the game to super slow down, I think we also need to get more of a feel for like how these games are going to play out if it is even Ubers, because it's all well and good playing pug scenarios where teams are pushing off one pick or able to just trade Ubers and make that work, but at high level play in crunch officials, and we want to see these maps in official play at the end of the day. So we're going to have to see how they deal with scenarios where it is even Ubers, where you have to force a medic, where you have to make soldier attacks work, where you have to potentially use a sniper as well. We didn't see very much sniper at all in those first 2 games, so we don't even really have a sense of the sniper sightlines.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and we we only really saw like off classes really onto last, but yeah, like you say, it's we didn't really have the games were so fast paced and back and forth. Yeah, teams didn't really settle into these sort of stalematey kind of holds very often. But yeah, exactly, that's something that 100% should be sort of be nice to see. I guess if the map makers watching this back, they kind of want to see those scenarios unfold and see how teams are able to break through that on the map, and there might be certain it might feel great. There might be certain times where it's harder or easier to break stalemates, and Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how that works. And also, yeah, not just in the second one, into last as well. Like we had a couple of times where sacks was sent into last, but we never got to the point of like teams sacking in a player and then coming up sniper or like spire or anything like that to try and really make something work.
Yeah, it never really slowed down, which is always good to watch. We saw a lot of high level action, and that's the other thing. The level of the players we got, we saw so many airshots, so many crazy players. Particularly Sil and Fancy who were really feeling themselves. And I'm looking at Papi, I'm looking at Haunts, and hoping we're gonna see a continuation of just everyone hitting everything and just real pandemonium.
Yeah. That keeps it entertaining, doesn't it? If there's highlights popping off every now and then. But that being said, looks like the game's about to get underway. We're coming in for the upper bracket final on Subbase. Team Papi in the blue colours and Team Salentes over in the red. See what these teams have got in store for us on this first mid-fight. See what they've learned from their first games.
I'm going to see High Roller actually going to come in from Fancy this time. They haven't done that much in the previous game, but they're going to take control of the crates. Fancy just putting damage out across the point, but a left-sided rotation.
Haunts is coming in behind, he's on med. Through the chuck, get the med, straight onto Trub. Great patience there. Blank comes back in the other way. Auto's sort of safe for now, but Village taking a lot of damage. Hits a very nice pipe there, just keep himself alive. 12 HP. Salentes only one up, never mind. Salentes taken down as well. Very nice mid there, over on the blue side of Team Papi.
Yeah, I don't know if they just lost sight of Auto. They didn't know exactly where he was. He was didn't have the most players protecting him as he had to kind of duck into that flank area, but he survives it now and he retains 100%. The second gap is going to come in very fast without too much contesting, and they're going to be able to move in towards last, take control of lobby, get the buffs up before this Uber is ready to go.
Yeah, it's a right side sentry gun, but it might not be getting built in time. No, Haunts takes it down before the push is able to come in. Yeah, the Uber charge is onto point now. Bit of Captain coming through the scout. Salentes was hiding in the secret area, takes a lot of damage, spams away, but the Uber hasn't actually got any frags. They've got a bit of space still. Papi's down in the water, gets one but traded out instantly. Bud coming in, very low HP, might get taken down himself, but there's still a 300 health heavy on the point that needs to be dealt with at some point during this fight.
Oh, the Uber though comes out for the red side. They don't have too many players to flash it on. Nice little chase by Blank is able to take out KPN. They follow up with Phoenix with the family business once more from Earl. Pulling out that unlock. I don't even know if it's good, but it's certainly effective when you hit your shots.
Yeah, looks like they're red side now looking to reach out onto the second point. They've actually got a fair bit of ground. Bud hiding on this high ground on the second point. Auto's very deep in here. Gets out temporarily. Salentes in behind. Auto somehow survives that.
Oh, Haunts is in behind and Trub is kind of separated at the moment. He's going to find the nice little shot onto Trump, clean him up. The rest of his boys are ready to go. Phoenix on the beam, chasing forward. He wants to take out, but he does get him. Blank is in to try and block. There's a heavy from O as well, but the Uber's out. They're gonna clean up Blank. There's not too much left to defend. Fancy all alone. Can't do it against 4 healthy players. And there we go, a very quick round from Papi's boys.
I love Earl there, jumping in with the Thomas Lab, just spinning around, going for 360, 720, whatever, trying to stop the point. Not quite enough in the end. Yeah, Team Papi taking that first round. And a second time of asking on this midpoint, on the last point. Excuse me. As they're now rolling out the left side mid again. Yeah, team's poking and prodding for now. Haunts is in behind, going to peek from the window at some point onto the catwalk. Peeks in now, Bud denies him, and he's actually still in. Papi's in on the medic now. It's one shot in, doesn't quite manage to take him down, pays his life for it. And now Blank running in, one kill, gets onto the medic. Auto taken down as well. Blank's going absolutely huge here. Fancy with the stickies as well. And it's a clean up here for Team Salentes on the mid. However, Trump taken down very late.
Yeah, Bird and Blank were just nicely in tandem, focus firing at the same time. They just turned around. That early aggression that the Papi team had showed was came back to bite them as they were all caught too far forward. This spearhead of Blank just going in. Bird's actually gone for a hiding spot here. He finds Philip with a nice little air shot. It looked like he missed his opportunity, but no, comes in with a clutch rocket.
Yeah, now we see there's a demo man down, so there's a bit of space here for Team Celentis to work with. They've taken the lobby. Well, that spawner is going to be coming in very soon. Let's see what they're able to work with this. A scout peeking around underneath. Blank pays his life for it. Maybe this is the time we see opportunity like an off-class coming into this last point. It's not something we really saw previously.
Yeah, it's not really any advantage for the red side at the moment. They're just trying to spam with the double soldiers peeking in from long range there. Actually, Phoenix is doing a good job keeping his sentry alive despite all the spam. The demo man's getting involved as well, fancy, but surviving for that.
Yeah, Blank's on a sniper. The sentry is taken out as well, so there's extra space. Could help Blank if he wants to try and make something work. Earl is still sat in this water area, really trying to catch the timing, and Blank takes out KPN on the heavy. And Earl is in on the point. Gets another kill, forces out the Uber charge as well. Auto has to use. Good coordination there from Team Celentis. They're coming back in. Use comes in. Celentis onto the point, takes down the bombarding soldiers. Yeah, what a well coordinated push there for Team Celentis. Very nicely worked.
Yeah, really nice stuff. They got the call to go in, they committed, they all committed to give them really nice focus fire, and just catching Phoenix outside of that Uber auto and flash phase in front of him. Phoenix was caught a little bit behind him, but the aggression came in, cleaned him up, and there just wasn't enough players for the Papi team.
Yeah, I like the idea of sending that scout in super late through the water. Really be a powerful position. There's a small health pack in there as well, being topped up. But anyway, we're back onto the mid fight against Celentis, going in very early onto Auto, taking super low, taken down in the end. Yeah, 3 down already. Over on the side of Team Papi. The soldiers bombing a huge air shot from Broad onto Haunts, and it's a full clean-up 6-man wipe.
Yeah, they weren't even really forced out of position. They just kind of put themselves in a blob around the point, around the centre of that midpoint, and they weren't really moved anywhere. They just got the easy isolated kills. Now they're all doing to last.
Yeah, they're getting lots of spam off. There's a heavy trapped outside, not going to deny in time. Very clean.
That's already an early world record round for that. That must have been close, probably under a minute. I would have thought that was so quick.
Yeah, it's a very fast mid-fight. Again, yeah, we saw soldiers going straight in. And yeah, just completely caught Papi and the rest of his team on that low ground.
60.2 JMX is telling me, so just over a minute. But an early time set.
Yeah, Horse in the medic already. Trump taken out, and Fancy goes down as well. That's the main combo of the blue side taken out already. Can Auto be kept alive? There's only 2 scouts left to maybe try and get on him. Phoenix taken out, and Blank goes down as well, and it's a wipe in the opposite direction this time. Only Haunts pays his life. And Team Papi really fight back. World record contention already. They want to fight back instantly.
Yeah, they're moving their way, just leaving Phoenix on the second point. There's still a scout mid to follow up. They're peeking it in, getting some spam there. They're probably going to take out that sentry gun before it could even get to firing, and there is 100% up for Auto, which is going to look to take him from the left.
Hughes comes in from the river. Lots of pressure on the point. Papi's walking through the water. He splashed his sticks off the point, but the heavy's on the point. Earl has done so much work. He got 2 kills and a lot of damage, and he's still a 400 health meat shield on this point, and they can't get anything from it.
Yeah, Haunts went in for a salvage and hit one nice rocket onto Trump, but no one was able to follow up. And as you said, they just didn't find much on that last point. They didn't really get deep in towards the spawn, didn't lock anyone back. Didn't even get much cap time at the end of the day, so basically failing on every aspect of that last push.
Yeah, and what's worse as well is that Trump now has a pretty decent Uber advantage here. going to be thinking about coming in through this right-hand side. It's not something we've seen too much of. Most of the time people do going choke before this time, but they're walking in, taking a lot of space. Blank's taking so much ground on the height here. Philip arrows down. Still Uber hasn't been using. Auto is actually dangerously close to getting Uber here.
Yeah, 2 players down. There's a backup threat as well. Hordes and KPN both in the backlines are just going to draw some players back and going to be difficult to...
Papi's in.
No, just trying to and finds the force there with Hordes jumping in. KPN is quite low, but he's going to get cleaned up. I mean, they've got the force out there, but they've had to commit 3 frags for it, so there's going to be an opportunity here for Celentis' team to roar forward.
Yeah, well held there by Trump, gets launched into the sky off one rocket, but holds the Uber just a little bit longer, forces another couple of players to commit before using. So, but yeah, as we said, now the Uber advantage coming back in either side. Uber used out very, very quickly from Auto. They sweep across the midpoint. They're going to find Bud, maybe going to try and find more as well as Soldier straight in. Hunt gets a kill, but taken down. A bit of a back and forth here. It's the advantage and the points flick from team to team.
Blink's first 2 picks, or the advantage that Trump is going to have. They're allowing Trump to build this Uber up while they are capping out on the Papi side, so they know that the threat of the Uber is very close. They probably heard Trump call just about now. Papi is trying to provide a bit of resistance, a bit of a nuisance. He actually gets a nice little frag onto Blank, who is chasing a little bit too eagerly, and that's going to slow down the aggression. Fake call coming out from Auto, but it looks like they're not even looking to move with that frag onto Blank working against them.
Yeah, 1 man down, even with that Uber advantage, it's a bit risky. And there might be another kill going down in this flank as well. Bud taken out as well. Celentis gets 1 in return.
Should I use that space?
There's actually no scouts alive now over on the blue side, so this could be a trigger for some sort of aggression.
Yeah, Bud's in the respawn queue though, and Sil was denied from up top just about the time, so now Sil has an opportunity.
Oh, he's in now.
Doesn't quite happen for him.
But on the other hand, Papi's in the choke, takes out Fancy, KPN takes out Bud as well. And that's 2 huge frags. Fancy now can't deny this choke on the demo. Papi jumps all the way, might even catch a frag onto the scout who's retreating onto the river, still chasing him down.
2 soldiers going for Earl. He dodges all the rockets though. It's like Neo from the Matrix. That was clutch stuff. 2 soldiers bowed down the mid-lives.
Yeah, very nice work there. Really slows down this. If he goes down, there's potential water control over on the side of Team Papi. But as it stands, we're going to be at even Ubers and not quite even players as Haunts goes down and Papi goes down as well in that lobby area.
2 soldiers down, not a spam out the question. That's going to make it much more viable to move towards this second point, knowing they can't just throw away a sack for nothing. The scouts are on the high ground, and Haunts has been able to come in for this fight. He got a quick spawn, and Bud is actually destroyed by Haunts. So Rocket Sil's caught awkwardly on the low ground as well. Haunts very low is going to sneak out of there, so they're going to have to back up here. Sil team, they don't have the spearhead aggression that their soldiers provide them. They've lost Earl as well. They're having to go back to last. The thing they have is they did do enough damage that they're just going to be able to slow down Papi's team, but not for long.
Yeah, they're straight in actually, sacking one to the point already. Papi's in himself, and they'll take out Haunts as well. That's both soldiers now down. There's a bit of a fight occurring towards the point. Blank forced all the way back. But yeah, now it's 3 picks for Team Celentis.
Blank's in. Oh, but he just eats the close range.
Yeah, there's soldiers coming in though as well. Celentis, they get the force.
Trump has the Uber now ready to go when he wants. He milks for an absolute age, but Bud is chasing forward, finds the rockets onto Auto, caught on the rump, and it's going to shake out, but the bombs are coming in, everyone's flying in.
Oh, there's
the
one more,
Air Force is here. Philip can't find the last, but finally he finds the bike. He picks up Trump and Earl. Celentis is cleaning up the mess that was happening, but it's all shaken out, and the second cap is going to come in for Seal, but they've lost a lot for it.
Yeah, it was in the nick of time there. There's a soldier landing on his face. I thought for a second he might have been denied there as well, but yeah, very nice work, especially from Philip there when they sacked in, sent everyone in, full on sack wave. Philip lands the crucial pipe at the end.
A much better spot for Auto, and they're hard winning, so they're aware it's going to be a 30% advantage. It looks like they're going to make the most of just sitting outside nice and safe, not taking any risks while they build this up. As they move up to 80, you're going to start to see them move in towards lobby, presumably.
Yep, looking like they're going to take this left-hand side route again. Reminiscent of River on Gully Wash. The Silences is so far behind as well, so he's not going to be in this fight by the looks of things. Yeah, they're pinned about to spawn. This is potentially a little bit rough here for Team Silentes. Ubercharge comes out, we can absolutely good time. Trum pops out the Uber, they're clearing waters. KPN taken down. Yeah, for a moment they were 4 and 6 there, but the Ubercharge comes up.
Yeah, Trum had to play brave though. He was 97%. He was knocked a little bit back to spawn, but he knew he had to stay in and had to get that Uber while pressure was coming down on him. Did just about enough, got the Uber up, and that was enough to hold, but they weren't able to catch Auto. They got a few frags, but nothing on second as yet, and they've got to be aware that while it's only a slight ad for Auto, it might be pushable.
Yeah, I guess they're getting the NGN sentry up again, and they got a heavy. Prepared for the hunker down. As yeah, the Ubercharge comes straight in. The Trum's surely going to get very, very soon. Silentes still has control of this water. As Philip comes in, takes out Bud. Yeah, the Ubercharge forced out kind of late for the Trum. Scout, KPN taken out.
Yeah, I'm not sure I agree with this kind of deep Philip jumping in Uber. I don't see how you're meant to make that work. You've got to spend so many resources to chase your demo all the way across the point, and he can eat damage. He can even get taken out before that happens. I think it makes more sense to go from the center if you're going to try and do that kind of bomb in, but at the moment not quite working for Philip.
Okay, counter aggression coming in. Haunts landing on the combo. It doesn't take out anything. Blank and Fancy get frags. Yeah, not much ground taken so far. Oh, yeah, they're actually walking across the point now.
Yeah, huge bomb in, coming into choke, got damage down onto a bunch of players, but wasn't able to. Still is
in. Yeah, walks all the way through the left-hand flank. Nearly gets also. That's 20 HP, but who comes in, sweeps up the damage. Phoenix coming back on the other side, really trying to get him. There's a soldier sack coming in as well at the same time. Good coordination. Trum drops Fancy though in the meantime.
Papi's low. There's a player Orts in behind as well. He's having to run for health backs. KPN is dueling with he's gonna win that actually. He could be a bit of a nuisance in terms of threatening the backup. Orts is still unaccounted for in behind.
This
don't know where he is at all.
He's just sat in last. Is he like waiting for a respawn? Yeah, he's following out the demo. Lands on him, gets 2 rockets off onto Fancy, might catch a second as well. Blank just takes him out just before that 4th rocket.
Fancy was tilted by that play, but I think it was a smart little play. It worked out. Trump now is caught by Papi. They're looking to continue the aggression. They've got Auto nice and far forward with the beam on Phoenix. Still's not really in position to find any kind of play onto him. He's going to get caught on the exit as well.
Bud's got 1 rocket onto Auto, nearly manages it. Yeah, it's full HP, literally lands on top of his head and gets 1 rocket up, but not enough, as the Uber advantage is absolutely huge here, and the player advantage as well. They're just going to walk straight in. Blank taken out by KPN, and KPN's just going to start capping behind the demo man. Denies him away.
Trump gets the kill onto Auto, but it's mostly for nothing. At the end of the day, classic Trump coming in and getting the frag, but his team kind of dropped the round, and now it's back to 2-2.
Yeah, very nice push there. Yeah, the pull the trigger, it was so quick through that lobby. 70% Uber didn't care to build it out and build out the advantage. They just want to go on the player ad. Yeah, nice conversion. As the team set up for this next mid fight. Bit of poking and prodding as two soldiers now jumping onto the crates from the red side.
Oh.
Trum gets taken down by Papi. Auto's on the low ground behind the red crate. It's going to be okay for now. He's getting chased through the flank. Silentes is in behind. So he's KPN's taken out by Blank. And yeah, this is a little bit awkward for them here in the second point. Silentes spotted out though. Nice work there by Phoenix. Just fancy alive on the midpoint. Gonna get pincered by everyone. Yeah, taken out in due time.
Yeah, nice stuff. Nicely negotiated, particularly by Phoenix and Auto there at the end of that. But I have to say, that mid-fight was massively thrown by Sil and Bud, both going for the Hollywood air shot onto one of the soldiers. That was never going to happen, never going to hit. And they would have got so much damage if they just shot at the combo when they had that high ground position, when they had control of the crates. But unfortunately, you go for the frag movers, you pay the price.
Yeah, and the price is this big Uber advantage coming on TV. It's down to 80% now for Trum as the Uber's used out from Auto. Lots of damage here from Philip and Papi in onto the spawn. Lots of cap time coming through as well, but the Uber charge comes back out. Trum uses, and it looks like Team Papi are going to back out, try and kite this Uber, then re-engage KPNs onto the point through this water area. Haunts is in the medic now, and there's a trap denying the point. Nice work there. Nice little re-engagement from Team Papi.
And yeah, KPN, Philip also, they look very solid. Phoenix as well, just all very solid as a combo, just utilising the beam to its fullest extent at the moment, making the difference.
Not going to be forced out yet either. It's Fancy and Earl running in, taking a couple of kills. I don't think about going last here as well. Auto's used it onto second. There's a rather odd Uber exchange. Auto gets taken down afterwards as well. They might just want to go off this. 3 players up, 5v3. Silentes already in top left onto the high ground, bombing into the heavy, thinks better of it, taken low. Haunts takes him down. As the bombs come back in again, Bud taken down on the point. This is getting a little bit risky now. Player disadvantages. Spawners come in from Team Papi. Yeah, they sweep up in the end.
They clutch it out. Yeah, that was very well played by Silentes' team, just encircling their opposition. They had nowhere to go. They had to use a desperate Uber that found nothing at the end of the day, and yeah, they pulled it back though. They held on to last. They clutched through, and now they're already moving into mid.
Yeah, KPN getting very aggressive here, and they're going to try and Auto's actually come out this with a slight Uber advantage as well, so maybe going to try and get onto him. Bud and Blank taken down on the way back. Philip trying his very, very best, but it looks like the red team not got a great deal of space here, but the trades have gone even so far. The bombs coming back in. Silentes on top of that blue crate, getting denied very, very nicely by those blue scouts.
Yeah, the scouts on the crates are doing a lot of work, but Sil's just got the hiding spot. He's waited round the corner, forces out Auto, but it's not really a force at the end of the day when you catch Trum with the Uber. They'll be happy with that scenario. They'll take control of the mid. They'll have a little bit of ad to work with. I don't know if it will be pushable or not. Actually, Trump's got such a long spawn here. It's going to be up to 30, maybe 40% ad by the time he spawns.
Yeah, it's not looking too good. Oh, for Team Silentes, they really want to try and get onto water if they can. That's a good start, getting onto KPN. As they try and walk in, but looks like Team Papi going to take the point. Going to start walking in towards this last point with 40-ish% Uber advantage. Definitely workable. We've seen Auto use less and make it count. Coming in through the river again. Uber used super early. Oh, there's a bit of splash in the choke, slows down the push.
Blank's taken out though on the engineer, couldn't get back into spawn. The sentry is going to follow very easily without being able to be healed. Standing on the point here, they haven't taken rid of Fancy though. They haven't got any pressure onto him, so he's able to just beast on the point. Bombs now coming in from Bud, finds the rocket onto Philip. Auto's a lone survivor, but I don't think for very long.
Yeah, he's getting chased down, 2 soldiers after him. Oh, he's getting a bit nice. Very late death there. Not too convenient for Fancy's denying that choke. Yeah, it wouldn't quite work out too well, I think. Yeah, they got slowed down in that choke, and they couldn't deal with Fancy, who did great work there on the point. So close to getting capped.
Took a risk there as well. Everyone's stacking up on the point on the low ground when there was 2 soldiers in play ready to go. They didn't go for it now, but what Hordes has done is he has got in, snuck in behind through that little flank while it was happening. There's 2 players chasing him. It's Earl and Sil. Earl's going to take him out just about despite eating a rocket. Slowed down stuff for now, but actually the cap came in so quickly there for the red side. They're already moving to second.
Yeah, they sort of had to cap quick. It was that back cap threat with the pain train soldier, and we're getting the snipe in the forward spawn. But anyway, they're using Intel last. They're already sat in front of the spawn shutter. Phoenix up on the heavy. They really try to deny this, but second hasn't been captured. There's still a fight occurring. Silentes taken out super low and actually taken down by Philip. So this is actually going to be really, really rough for those that are so far forward. They might get caught in.
Philip went down to 7 health, Papi went down to 9 health, but they survived for now, and they've bought enough time for their team that is big enough. On the hand, she got 3 frags and now an uber advantage for Auto to work with as well. Caught Papi, but he somehow trades out for Earl despite all the players coming back for him and the lack of health he had. He was able to find the rockets to trade the situation out and bring his team back into this.
On the plus there for Team Silentes, Trum nearly got Uber charge. He's might be needing it pretty soon. As Uber is used out by Auto, used out by Trum as well. And he's just standing a bit of a standoff across the point. You know, the scouts from Team Silentes running in. Getting quite a bit of space here. They get a kill onto Haunts, which is really going to open up some ground here for Team Silentes if they want to start moving forward.
The roller from Philip is able to take out Fancy at the end of that. I mean, that was always going to be difficult for Papi's team to make work. It was basically a 6v6 fight on mid after the Uber trade definitely worked in Red's favour with the closer spawns. But now no demo man, they can maybe make some happen. They're not pressuring too much at the moment. There's only 3 minutes left. They have a roundup, so probably don't want to take too many risks. Just playing it safe, just playing it standard. And yeah, slight disadvantage for them, but they're building up to be basically equal.
Yeah, we're wondering how teams are going to try and break these stalemates, because on the second point, I think now might be a time when they try and work something as Bud walks all the way in through the right flank. There is a sticky trap. Philip takes out Blank. That might slow things down. A nice little trap there above on the flank.
Yeah, they're just locking stuff down here at the moment. Papi firing some stuff in, but
Sil's
in now. His body blocked, and then Hordes is able to fight an easy rocket at close range to follow him up. So they did that sack at the same time. They had one player still rolling out. So what you trade in terms of not having the 2 men in the sack, you at least they reduce the downtime.
Yeah, for sure. Well, there's 2 minutes left to play, so Team Silentes is going to need to find something. And they're going to need to find something fairly soon if they're going to get through to last as well. Looks like Fancy now trying to poke and prod on this right-hand side. Having a spam wall with Philip over towards the lobby. Blanks in. Bud is in as well, but he's taken out. Auto still high hit. He gets taken out 20 HP. Silentes comes in. Nearly gets him. Auto takes 130 damage, but holds on strong. Holds on to the Uber charge.
Yeah, they threw in everything. Bud and Sil both committed super deep, but one focusing down Philip, he was out up very quickly, still just a little bit delayed. Found the first rocket on Daughter, but nice little surf was enough to keep him alive, and the damage spread over the 2 targets was difficult to follow up on.
Yeah, we've got a security camera on the map. 1 minute left. Silentes again wanting to take matters into his own hands, coming through on the spy, sneaking in into the lobby. Looks like he might have been caught. Oh, he's coming back in. No, catches Philip. Back into the lobby. See if he can make anything else work. In the meantime, Bud takes out Haunts as well. But Trum's gone down, and the Uber charge comes out from Auto. It's a drop on the red side, and all the work that Silentes does in the background might be for naught. Fancy last alive, 100 HP, taken out, and 20 seconds left. That is almost certainly game number 1 to Team Papi.
Yeah, I was on the drop. They went for the trade while the spy was happening. They got the 2 picks. They got they got the Uber Force out eventually out of water, but it was a clutch, just really useful Uber. They just cleaned up everyone. They got the important kill. Philip going for one final thing as they
Big
clocked it
airshot
down.
from Papi. Not going to matter.
There we go. 3-2. Papi's team takes this first map.
Every game today going to within 1 round, apparently.
Yeah, close stuff. Not only a showcase of the maps themselves, but a showcase of the draft format, being able to provide relatively evenly balanced teams, I guess.
Yes, it was a good game. We say both teams had pretty good chances, but yeah, Team Papi in the end just coming out on top in this one. I guess we'll see what's coming forth. We've got Entropy coming up next. But Papi's team should be happy that if it goes to decider, that'll be on Subbase. So maybe this is some confidence to build going forwards.
Yeah, I could definitely see the teams were kind of happy to push into last dry. We saw a lot of times where teams were kind of peeking into points dry and doing it very comfortably, and then when they even had Uber advantages, there were quite a few failed pushes compared to the earlier games. So, interesting stuff. I think the teams are starting to get a feel for how to do these last holds, how to play back, and we'll have to see if from the kind of aggressive side of things, the offense side of things, whether they can optimize their players.
Yeah, so in particular, I think we saw with the last point we saw a few different setups and such. Yeah, I said before, like I really liked sort of the way that particularly Papi's team they were able to sort of send players in, and then they could sort of constantly have like a flank player either underneath or coming in that can sort of distract for a moment. As soon as the team's looking, they can kind of have the eyes looking backwards and forwards constantly, catch their opponents out in rough positions.
Yeah, looking at these logs, only 1 kill difference between the two teams. Not much to pick between them in terms of damage or anything. Really, just 1 difference in the medic deaths. So pretty evenly matched stuff. Blank with the top frag actually. Not even played the beam scout, so he was doing work. He was creating a menace.
3 frags from Trum. That's 2 of them on the crossbow. So,
he's a fragger. What can you say?
Yeah, fragging out on the medic.
But have we got any more thoughts about Subbase based on that game before we move on to Entropy?
Yeah, I think more of the same. I think the teams were clearly fairly comfortable on it. We saw obviously there was a fair few times where, especially after teams are going for like rotational mids, you can get sort of silly situations where teams are caught in like each other's chokes and that, and yeah, teams dealt with that pretty well. And sort of the transitions between mid and second seem pretty good. There's lots of obviously the 3 routes, all of them were used at certain points to push between. Which gave teams a lot of variety and a lot of different options, particularly for the flank players as well. They can sort of run around and get a lot of space.
Yeah, good stuff overall. Seen 2 maps of Subbase. Might get a third if this does go in the Silentis' team favour, but yeah, I'm optimistic about what we've seen of that map so far. But moving on to Entropy, gotta say the first game we saw that of this earlier on was very messy. So I'm hoping for maybe a little bit more calmness, a little bit more kind of standard 5CP kind of stuff as teams are getting a little bit more familiar with this game. And yeah, definitely very, very action packed earlier on. So that's something we don't want to see change.
Oh yeah, for sure. We had all sorts of players, especially we had connected a lot of like flank routes and a lot of like little tricky corners that you can hide in and go for plays from. So yeah, keeps it entertaining and keeps teams on their toes. Yeah, I want to see. I know we saw it a little bit last time, but I really like the idea of these surf ramps on the middle. I want to maybe see them get some more use, and in particular that little window that you can look into the other team's house. I want something we saw a great deal of last game. I want to see maybe if anyone can make some good use of it, because I think it's a pretty cool idea for a position.
Yeah, I definitely think the key will be teams working out exactly how to play around the second point. I mean, it makes sense that you kind of stay up on bats when you need to be passive, when you want to play defensively. You've got easy enough access to leave to last. You've got the high ground position, obviously, but then the just kind of micro transitions between getting aggressive to lock down the choke points to making sure you're not getting rushed down via the kind of cargo area as well, or making sure there's not too much of a threat coming in from the truck. Based on the first time we saw that map, teams hadn't really worked out exactly how to play around the second. Teams were getting caught in awkward positions, but I think now both these teams will be playing it for a second time. Hopefully, they'll have worked some stuff out.
Yeah, definitely interested to see how they get going with that. Yeah, see that second point. It's the high ground's kind of passive, and I guess there is always that that little. I guess it's sort of like spiring that you can sort of, even though the point is high up, you can get even higher, and there's sort of that power point. But yeah, I want to see how teams decide to contend with that. But it looks like we are about to go live. Game number 2. So Team Papi, if they win this one, they're straight through to the final. Team Silentes need 2. Give the rollouts to mid. Looks like Fancy rolling out all the way wide onto the right-hand side. Both teams doing that. Philip trapping out the right. Bit of a spam war coming across. There's Bud's trying to go in behind. There's actually a bit of a fight on the flank here. Earl and Bud get onto Haunts very early on that wide flank, and that's going to give them more space to jump in. Bud's very high on the little jerf ramp. Silentes in as well, but Papi goes in and gets Trum. Auto taken down, good salvaging. Earl and Blank come in.
Yeah, nice use. We saw it earlier on in the map, so earlier on in the day, and they used it again, just using that little window area to get aggressive. Haunts didn't know what was waiting for him. He wanted to wait passive in the flowers area, but just had a scout soldier immediately bearing down on him from above. Was taken out. That very, very much turned the mid-fight in Silentes' favour. They've got the pick onto KPN as well, with the stickies from Fancy that, so that's going to force him to go forward. Silentes is able to find his way onto Auto. No one was there to protect him with KPN going down. And Phoenix chasing back, gets the kill onto Silentes, but they've been pushed all the way at his second point.
Papi's underneath, maybe trying to hide, no, being spotted out. The Red Scouts are aware of it. They're going to get this second point, and they're actually going to have a full Uber advantage coming into last year. Phoenix and KPN on those defensive off-classes. Papi all the way behind, so it's actually a 5v6 if they are to go now. Bud wants to do just that, running all the way in, gets used on very, very late. Push just comes in, and there's not enough players.
Yeah, Philip got cleaned up right in the spawn door with the Uber, caught out just, split seconds and just tiny margins, but with Philip going down, no one there to block the point, no stickies left on the point, and very easy to cap, just really utilising that Uber well.
Yeah, very nicely done there from Team Silentes. That's the start they wanted their map number 2, given that they need to win 2 on the trot, as the both teams rolling out on the opposite sides again. Oh, looks like a bit of soldier aggression here coming in. Papi's landing another combo straight away, gets one shot off onto the scouts, taken out as well as early Silentes gets his Silentes in on Auto. Auto's taken down. The Haunts gonna try to jump in. Trum really gonna have to do well to stay alive here. Got a lot of players on his back. Gets out into the flank. There's still a demo man jumping and a scout still alive as well, but KPN taken out. Really good work there from Trum and the scouts, keeping Trum alive at the end in that sack wave.
Yeah, it was really nicely done by Trum. He knew he was caught in a corner. He knew if he stood there, eventually it would be very easy for the explosive players to find their way onto him, for them to send and pinch him. So he just stuck his way a little bit. Didn't want to get too close to the incoming scattergun damage, but just enough to get his way out of the corner so that he could kite nicely in towards Flowers, get their health back, and keep himself alive.
I see Hughes coming in, they're straight onto the sentry gun. It's going to take a little bit of time to go down, but Trum drops into the low ground, sat on the point. No frags coming through for this Uber yet. He's got a fair bit of ground, but also in 5 seconds or so, he's going to have an Uber of his own. The Heavy's taken down over on KPN. See if they can get onto Auto before the Uber comes out. Auto has now. So yeah, they're going to have to all the way out. Papi might even try and chase here a little bit. Gets a couple of rocket sockets. A scout in his face as well, who somehow survives. They're all jumping down into Papi here. Really smelling blood, but Auto able to use in. Blanks up on Spies. He's trying to go for some form of back cap here. Phoenix goes in and takes out some of the Blank, taken down.
Bud was in behind on the point. He's taken out by Papi. It's actually a wipe for Silenta's team for the red side. They all went in to try and block second while Bud was still fighting. Bud lost the Soldier MG on last, and they're going to pay a heavy price for that. It was a real all-in play, and that's what happens when you gamble. Sometimes you lose.
If you gamble a lot, sometimes you lose a lot. So, yeah, see what they're going to try here. Bud's in all the way onto Auto, gets one rocket off, takes a lot of damage, but Auto just about survives. Yeah, Silenta's going in, caught in the background. There's both soldiers sacked in, but Trun has gone down as well, and so has Blank.
The control point is being captured.
There's only 2 players alive here on this last point. They're both trying to fight in the lobby, but no one's coming. This is going to be a really tall order here to see if they can hold on. Auto's, just uses in time, 120 HP taken from him, but yeah, there's overcharged players on the point. Surely around his imminent here. Earl doing what he can to deny. They're actually getting frags here somehow. Blank coming up top right, denying the soldiers, and this has gone very, very wrong here for Team Papi on the push-in.
Yeah, really slow and ponderous by Team Papi. They knew they only had 2 players up, but everyone was just waiting around on the cap point. Waiting around too long. They didn't want to get caught by the traps from Fancy. I think that was the real threat that was coming in. But, if you just had 3 players go forward, go into last, 2 players were never going to be able to hold that, so they've missed their opportunity.
Silentes is in very, very far, gets caught in a trap. Nice work there from Philip. Phoenix and KPN getting kills as well, so a lot of kills going back the other way. Push out is going to be stalled.
Yeah. Low ground position from Fancy, not where he wants to be. Phoenix and Auto are going to be able to trade in. They're going to bloody block the medic Trum as well. Nowhere to go. Fancy has to go for something onto Auto, but Bud is too far behind. He hasn't even reached the truck yet. Just going to be isolated in Flowers, and they're just going to leave him there, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be again another tough one. Full Uber advantage for Team Papi as they start the walk in. Phoenix on the point already, but taken out by Earls. Kind of far ahead of the pack there. As soldiers are coming in, and no, it's frags. Frags galore as Earl gets into Auto as well. Papi's last alive. Lots of aggression. See these dry pushes coming in a lot in these games, and yeah, again, Team Silentes holding on.
Yeah, I didn't know exactly what they were doing there. Papi's team, I don't think. They didn't really have a target for that last push. They just put themselves in. Ended up with just a scout MG on the point. If you lose that was basically the only thing they had going for them. They had to win that, and that's not how you want last pushes to be. It needs to be all your team going for something, but it just wasn't.
Well, Papi's in on the medic. Oh, Trump just about survives, and Bud survives on 1 HP by himself as well. Looks like second point now about to fall, and the Uber advantage is still there. Auto building hard.
Yeah, they had 3 picks for a while. It's down to 1 pick, but they still have the Uber ready to go. Fancy sees the heavy in front of him. Gonna spam him out. There's still stickies on the point. No soldier yet can scatter them. He manages to scatter 1, but Sil's rockets aren't particularly well placed to get rid of the stickies, and it looks like the push just isn't going to work. They finally get to the high ground. Blank is going to get the kill into KPN, so they might have enough frags here. Sledge's team, but no, they think better of it. They're going to back out of here. Bud's quite low, Blank's quite low. Horns finds one rocket onto Blank, and actually the medic Trub is isolated with not much health either.
Yeah, I guess as well, they probably knew Auto's Uber was coming up, and that could just be popped at any moment. So why they decided to stay out? Bud here, maybe going for something on the flank here, chilling out behind the second point. Thinking about a bombing onto the combo, lands one rocket onto Auto, gets a second, gets the force. Great work there by Bud.
Good turnaround actually, because they only had 3 players, but they've been able to chase it. They got still with that Uber, what looked like a force for nothing. They've got 2 frags at the end of the day, 3 if you include Bud, and actually the red Uber coming back in doesn't get much either. Blank's taken out, Trub is taken out, Post Uber Fancy, the only man alive, is going to be able to defend himself just about for now, jump his way out of there.
Yeah,
Bud is ready to follow up, but yeah.
Unfortunate timing there on the kill onto Blank. Gets spammed out, fire sticky just as he's about to kill Auto. It looks the minute Silenta's still on sniper.
In the forward sport, he gets
Kind
one
of
frag.
might get a scout as well. He's still alive in there. No, he's gonna be forced back in. 16 HP, really playing with fire here.
Yeah, they're trying to take a scrappy fight, but they have sealed that sniper. Means they're lacking a little bit of firepower for it. So even that frag that they managed to get onto Philip wasn't enough there. Just had a little bit more DM potential on the blue side, so they're able to just about scrappily win that fight second. But they still have Uber for last.
Yeah, they've got a bit of advantage here. They're getting the sentry gun down as well, and they're going to pick up Silentes in the bottom of the lobby. Horn's taken down by the sniper, but it looks like Scout Demo Uber through the shutter. Not going to hold to them. 2 picks already. They're straight onto the heavy. It's taken a long time to die. Taken down in the end, and yeah, cleanup comes in. Fancy last alive, can't do anything, and Trum died with 99%. Very, very unfortunate there.
Tragic stuff, but was going for a sneaky spot. Probably found out that that's maybe not a spot that could work. It just ended up being exploded immediately as that Uber came in, and that was a big loss, particularly after they lost Splinters as well. No soldiers for the defence. No one there to block the point, so just very nicely played by the Papi side.
Yeah, let's see what the 2 teams have got in store for us now. We're tied up 1 apiece with just under 20 minutes to go. Bud's already gone very deep in here on a flank. See what they're going to try and make work here as Papi lands in onto the demo of Fancy. Maybe try and go in for more as one that takes the high ground on the point. Phoenix comes in just about, tries to defend Auto, who's going to survive in the end. Trum taken down. Yeah, Auto gets out alive. Nice work there by Phoenix in the end. 3 kills on that mid-fight.
Yeah, both the scouts KPN as well, going aggressive and getting important frag onto Trum. Didn't take too many shots as well, so it was nice and loaded for the rest of the mid, and Phoenix also just negotiated well, keeping themselves alive, keeping control of that Uber situation. They're actually going to go out to bats here, play aggressively, take the risk on second, but they must be aware that Auto has the Uber ready to go.
Yeah, they're going to be forced back by the spam pretty far. Yeah, they're going to back up a little bit. Phoenix taken down. Well, that's just 1 pick, but I guess he's buying some time. Trum up to 75% Uber, so going to be okay if they come in. Bull gets the force out into lobby as well. I'm going to try and go here.
Both the soldiers though, they're going to get caught in the corner. Sil might escape. There's pipes going round. He's going to have to wait around. Finds a nice little jump to get himself out to spawn. Keeps himself alive. They have an Uber on Drum ready to go as well. So what looked like it could have been a disaster was his team just still with nice movement to keep himself in the action and now ready to pressure back into second.
Yeah, still getting good aggression here up on this high ground as well. There's actually a bit of a... Is a play going on to last? Yeah, there's a little bit of an effort. Not going to manage anything. Cap comes through. Drum's still holding on to the supercharge the whole time. Phoenix and Auto just running to the hills. Still being chased. Slenters can't get any more. But they're going to get 2 points for this Uber advantage, and they still haven't used, so That's looking good so far. However, the blue team of Team Papi coming back in, and with these players up advantage, they might want to try and fight this. Salenta's getting a kill under the point onto Papi.
Oh no, also, it had 90-something%. He had his arrows out, he got separated from his team when he didn't quite have the Uber, and it's taken out by the red Uber just before it could happen. There's a threat of a back-cap potentially. In fact, there's not a threat of a back-cap because the mid-cap's already down. Haunts is in behind, but he might get left behind her.
Yeah, going to try something. He's sat in there. Oh, it's a red second. He's trying to catch a spawner. Yeah, he's trying to do the same play to Fancy we've seen before. Not quite going to get it. Fancy's too quick to jump away. Instead, taking a 1v1 here. Oh, pickaxe is out. Oh, it's traded out in the end. But he dragged some players back. Fought them again another 5-10 seconds. But it looks like Ubercharge coming in from lower. Blank taking out Papi instantly. Entry guns getting spammed out as well. There's still a heavy alive on that left-hand side of the point. Blank tries to spam him down. Demoman jumping in as well. And all the frags here are going the way of Team Salentes. One scout alive, one soldier. Soldier jumping in. Haunts has held for a while, but no.
Yeah, Earl doing huge work, just running up the left, running aggressively into that heavy. Who had his head turned towards the point while all that was happening. Just clean shots onto that heavy and onto the rest of the blue combo. Was able to turn what could have been, again, an awkward situation where everyone else was caught low ground, but he was able to just clean up the damage that Fancy did across into the combo and converted off the back of it easily.
Alright, here we go. See what Team Papi can do in response. They're actually taking quite a bit of space across this mid. Papi's in as well. No, to decide to go for the flank. Haunts is in the medic. Gets 2 rockets off at the drum, and Fancy taken down as well. Oh, big air shot here from Philip onto Bode. He's got the pickaxe out. Maybe try and get away. Auto looks safe for now. Maybe an attempt at a play here from Blank, who's hiding around, trying to poke and prod. Can't manage to make anything work yet. Yeah, nice mid-fight there from Team Papi.
Yeah, Trump was calling out Haunts and chatting bamboozled by Haunts utilising the little oh my god, that's a nuts air shot with Papi on the bud. But yeah, Haunts just doing great work utilising the ramp that he was able to slide up, get a little bit more purchase on the second, extend his kind of airtime, and made it a lot easier for him to find the clean rockets onto Trump.
Phoenix takes out Fancy in the lobby as well, and Ubercharge is used out by Auto. Phoenix is all the way into last here with the combo. Soldier jumping back in. Salentes gets 2 for his troubles and somehow stays alive as well. And what looked like it could have been a good fast trigger pull there for Team Papi. Gets wiped up by some nice rockets. Still wanting to push out as well. Yeah, they're going to get second for this as well by the looks of things. Once the spam towards the shot, Bud might be going in for more as well. Gets a little bit of a splash onto Auto, not quite enough. Didn't get taken down. But Uberad here for Team Salentes as they walk in, but both of their soldiers have gone down. And Auto is running behind. They're trying to run second here if they can. 3 players about to win the second point here for the blue side. They've got a ×5 on the cap. This is very, very dangerous.
Yeah, no soldiers. The soldiers were ready to go and block it, so the cap comes in, but everyone else dies as they drop down. Auto is alone. It's surely going to get found out, caught by Blank, who's delaying his death a while, but might even not find the frack. Auto escapes. Oh no, not quite. But he did buy his team enough time that the soldier, I think it was Papi, was able to come in, catch up to the fight, get Trump while all that was happening. Just 1 alive at the moment for the Papi side, but at least basically even Ubers.
Yeah, they might be able to walk into mid though here with these 2 players still down. Phoenix wants to try to stop them, thinks better of it, backs back out. Papi will do the same.
Philip is getting blindsided. He doesn't know how many players are on the point. He's walking a little bit too ahead of himself. Luckily, Fancy was taken out, so it's Demo Man down a piece. Sil is going to find a frag onto Papi. Blank claims Haunts as well, so Frags very much going in the Salentis' side favour. We'll have to see whether he wants to duel KPN or not. It's taking an unnecessary 1v1 at the moment. There's still a couple of players to roll out. We'll probably be able to clean KPN up. Actually, no, he's just running behind, creating a nuisance and staying behind for that.
Yeah, there's a little bit of an overrun here, but maybe not something that's going to get used on. Auto, yeah, Auto has managed to get up now. See how they decide to breach this second point, but actually it looks like Team Papi are the ones that are going to be taking a bit of aggression, taking a little bit of space. Papi takes control of this lower area, thinking about trying to get something from the sink.
KPN's still in behind. Now he's fighting with he's escaped once more. He's got another health pack in close. He's running onto the combo. He gets the force out of Trump. He goes for the long con and it works out.
Yeah, Bud making nice little use there of the window, spamming through, but
oh my god, that's disgusting. You could just stay there forever and spam down.
Yeah, you can hang that. You can also, if you go further to the right, you can even see down towards where the health pack is as well. Like, it's a super powerful position. It's just obviously you're still surfing, so.
You're limited in terms of how much you can see when you're doing it, but he's continuing to find rockets out towards.
Yeah, Horns is taking super low. 17 HP on him. Gets him in the end. Yeah, pays his life for it. But yeah, this push got delayed a little bit. Yeah, Holmes isn't too happy about that in the chat. Was not too happy fighting someone who was shooting him through a little window. But yeah, there's a couple of players' advantage here. 14 Papi, and they have the midpoint. They're actually going to start trying some pressure in towards second, but Uber's used out very quickly. They're going to try and really pull the trigger here, get onto Horn and onto Auto. They get onto Philip. They're really not going to get any more either. There's a soldier jumping away from second, maybe trying to be a distraction on the back cap. Taken out in the end. Big call there from Auto, maybe trying to bait the players of Team Salentes.
Trump's down to 10 health. But no one's there to follow up KPN's core on the low ground. Bud is in as well, onto Auto. Can he find the rocket? Gets enough damage down that Auto has to force out. He was down to nearly the same amount himself. And it all shakes out. The midpoint is going to go in control of the Salentes side. And they have a chunky advantage to work with as well.
Yeah, it was nice work there, getting that force, especially on the back line. Very well done, and yeah, they've got the rewards for it. They win the midpoint, and they also have about 50% Uber advantage here, so they might try and walk this. See where they decide to push.
Go from the sink area. They're gonna go up.
Oh, you can't jump up there, Trum. They're just gonna use it too low. They know time is limited with this Uber advantage. They're gonna walk straight into lobby with Scout and Demo. Trying to get behind, not really going to catch anything for it. They're going to get second. But also Zuba up on the other side, used straight back in. They really want to catch the molester on this point. Phoenix running in. And trying to get onto the players, the retreating players.
The control point is being contested.
There's a player on last. Bud's on last. Oh, all the way through. All the way through. We say it caps fast. Just too fast. Full side of Team Papi.
So that toxic area on second, you can't get up it without the scout double jump, though.
Yeah, like a wing and a single jump or something. So, yeah, there's no, it's.
You can't get up with just a normal crouch jump.
Yeah, Trump tried a couple of times and then just realised because the Uber was limited, had to take an alternative route.
Anyway,
Salentes is in trouble. Yeah, Salentes is in trouble here. Taken down already by the flank, and Bud goes down as well. That's both soldiers going down for the side of Team Salentes, and players are in here on the combo. They're all taken down, and Fancy goes down as well. Can Trum and Blank get out all the way back? They're literally on their own last here. They really don't want anything to do with it.
They got out early enough. They're gonna. In fact, they didn't even have a dislodge at the end of the day. Auto must have. I think it was only building with, or only healing one player for an auto amount of time as well. So no advantage. But they're looking to muscle in anyway. Maybe they think there isn't going to be an Uber coming up for Trump, but they should be aware that it's going to be coming up shortly. They only take out the sentry gun. There's a desperate play in there. Actually get the foresight with that bomb, but they've lost 3 players for it. Blank is going to chase forward with the Uber. Fancy sees 2 players escape from him. But Trump is down.
And Papi's caught out as well in the lower cargo area. And yeah, they lost all those players. They also lost so much ground as the two red scouts just sprint all the way through that lobby, just clear the whole area. It really helps them on that push out. And yeah, now Auto has a little bit of an advantage here, but we've got 2 rounds to find in 6 minutes, so they're going to have to likely make this one count. See what Silentes is trying on this sniper. Might be seeing an angle. Auto has peeked out. Oh, just misses the time. Might have a second chance. It doesn't quite land the shot into Auto. Might catch Philip though. Shoots through. Doesn't quite land that one either. As they go all the way back. They've got an NG on last.
Utilising the lower lobby this time. They're going to jump Philip in deep. Sees the sentry gun. They knows he's going to go down, so he just swaps off. O's on the heavy. Now there's 90% up for Trump. They might even not even need the Uber though. They have still control of the high ground. Fancy's in a nice position. The Uber's flashed out. It's just going to flush cylinders for now, and Auto is alone, trying to run away from Fancy.
Oh, Fancy's look!
He must have known Fancy was low, and Auto is able to take him out.
The control point is being
A nice little DM there from Auto. Very nicely done. That's an important kill as well. Keep himself alive, keeps the Uzi even. So usually he stays alive there and doesn't get taken out by Fancy. And now with Fancy the demo man down, they might try and walk in dry onto the second point. Looks like they're thinking about doing just that. They're walking in already, pushing through this low ground.
Utilise that little ramp up the far side, a little girder or whatever it is, to get themselves up onto the balcony area very fast. They've got picks onto Silt and Bud, so no soldiers for the defence. There's 2 officers as well, Heavy and Engineer, to deal with. Sentry gun taken out very quickly by Philip. A lot of space for Phoenix on the left side. There's a sniper with Blank though. In this dry scenario, they have to be scared of the sniper. In fact, they're just going to use in Trump though. Has an Uber ready to go. It's flashed out onto the Heavy. Blank still peeking on the sniper. Big bomb coming in though towards Auto, taking it out. And they're just going to have to run back to second here, Papi side.
Yeah, there's a lot of fighting going on lower as well. Horns getting maybe caught out as well. Silentes is in, takes out Phoenix. K fingers, and Horns goes down, just Papi alive.
alert. The control
Yeah,
point
very
is being
nicely done there between Silentes. So Papi team going in dry before the Uber charge came up. And yeah, they got a bit of ground, but yeah, that Uber, the fact you can get an Uber heavy up like that and the jumps came back in. Very nice counter aggression.
They had also got the fast spawn, but no one was spawned with him, and Papi wasn't able to get out either, so it's been to be about a 50% Uber advantage for Trump. They've already got themselves into second. They're trying to take the fight though. They know with 2 rounds down, they've got to take it draw while they have the opportunity. They've found the frags onto Fancy Bud, still Trump all going down. Just the scouts now for Blue to deal with. But the scouts are so much.
Yeah, great work there from Earl and Blank. They might even catch more as well, not quite. Philip taken down to 5 HP in the madness. But yeah, huge play there from the 2 scouts. Earl and Blank. And yeah, 3 minutes left, 2 rounds to find. They've got an Uber charge to build up as well. Really not looking too great for Team Papi.
It was definitely the right play though, to take it in dry, to take the risk, to push the envelope in their brief window opportunity. You can see the game sense of note they had to go at that time. Papi's actually going to eat a headshot, which is going to probably slow them down a little bit as they move towards second. Building Uber decently, but Trump is about the same percentage.
Yeah, Auto's on crits though. Auto's going to try something here on the crits. They've spammed out the sentry already. Horn's taking care of that. See how they decide to use these crits in. Philip walking in, lots of crit stickies laid around. Uber charge comes out from Trump though, they're not going to catch anything. Philip gets 1 kill onto Silentes, but it's not enough. It's just Auto and Phoenix alive. Mate, that just auto, running all the way back to mid.
Point is being contested.
Caught alone, just the crit screen in hand. Him getting chased out here. Oh, still hopping around. I get the kill to Bud. And Fancy goes down as well to Haunts. Great play there by Auto.
But commending his opponent and Fancy having none of it, telling him he's still at disadvantage, you're still 2 rounds down. It's going to be bad news, but they're making the fight work though. KPN and Phoenix just going ham on the second point. They've already got control of this with the help of Philip, and they're going to be moving in towards last. They don't have any Uber. They don't have. In fact, both medics coming up crit screen.
Yeah,
but,
1 minute left. They have to go dry.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to try and find the soldier of Bud going underneath. Yep, they go underneath, get him. Silentes wants to go under as well. He's having a little bit of spam. Takes out Papi. As yeah, Fancy walks in onto Auto, gets a lot of stickies onto his feet. Tries to land the next pipe, doesn't quite manage it, but forces them back so far, and there's 40 seconds left. There's surely not enough time. Phoenix going to cap the point. Just nearly manages it, but the heavy spam of Earl does enough the other direction. Tries to go through. Kritzkrieg is out. The laser beam heavy is on. Earl takes out 2 more. That's a 4 kill streak for the laser beam heavy. GG's called in the chat.
And yeah, looks like we'll be going back to Subbase.
There's actually almost yeah, there's a nice little cap at the end with Papi, I believe. But then there we go. Game is over. Back to Subbase.
Yeah, interesting stuff. I mean, it's good showcase of this map. Entropy. It was a lot more coherent gameplay. You know, still fun stuff. Still, all teams playing aggressive, taking their opportunities. But you could certainly see the Silentes side. They had a much better grasp of how to defend, particularly the last point and the second point as well. And you know, we finally saw some last holds work out on Entropy, and it's just a thing. As they get more familiar with the maps, they have to adjust. But yeah, good stuff so far.
Yeah, it's been very good. Yeah, I guess we are technically still within the 1 round like rule that we thought we were previously in, because like, with the cap coming in very very late to make it 3 to 2. But yeah, no, it was great to see sort of the different strats they're coming up with. I'm glad I saw somebody using that window eventually. The little window on the surf angle. And that's a pretty cool idea for a map like this. And yeah, we saw various different attempts of directions to push into last. Because I guess obviously there's similarities between like the shape of it and something like a Badlands, but the strats were sort of very different for how you push it. But yeah, we saw. Yeah, I think there was definitely like teams have more got to grips with how the map works, and it's looking very good.
Could have a quick peek at some logs. I'm seeing good scout performances, particularly from the red side. Just early top fragging, blank followed up in second. Not too much else to point out. Philip perhaps not having in fact a lot of deaths on Philip. Possibly the difference between the two sides, but honestly think it just came down to one team was reasonably successful pushing last, and the other team not so much.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because we saw Papi's team had lots of good chances where they even had like some uber advantage pushes into last, where it didn't quite work out for them. Either not finding the frags or not finding making it draw out for too long. Yeah, across the board, yeah, like you say. So the 2 highest damage in the server, the 2 captains, Papi and Silentes, both doing very good work. But yeah, the Red Scouts cleaning up so many frags, like 60 kills between them. Is very, very good work on their part.
But anyway, we're back to Subbase, and these two teams have just played each other half an hour ago on this map, so we'll have to see what they've learned, whether they'll be able to put it back into practice or not. I mean, it was such a close game. I don't think there's really going to be a favourite here. I think it's just a case of which team is the best to adapt.
Yeah, we saw obviously Team Papi come out on top, and we saw again like we had a couple of sort of slower parts in the game we saw earlier, but for the most part, yeah, it was kind of frantic, lots of running behind, lots of teams getting split apart and just making things work. So we'll see if we see more of that, or if teams decide to go for a bit more of a slow and measured approach. But yeah, no, I think as you say, it's anyone's game. Like the last game was so close. Like there's one round in it. So
teams are looking to go live pretty shortly here. It's been good stuff. A map apiece. It was the Papi team that won this Subbase first up, but now we're going to have to see if they can repeat the feat and book their place in the final.
Yeah, as the rollouts begin, map number 3 of the upper bracket final, as we say, the winner of this goes straight through to the final, which will be tomorrow. The loser will go into the lower bracket final. So let's see what the two teams have to offer for us. Looks like both teams rolling out on their respective left-hand sides. Straight in, taking advantage of the demo man. And Haunch is involved, 2 red soldier bombs very early. It's an absolute nuke. Trum takes a lot of damage, and Bud is low as well, but gets arrowed, and it looks like the blue side are going to have to back out of this. They're keeping Trum alive just about as he takes more flak. Bill kind of wants to use them. They're going back in, they're going to use the Uber. They actually have Uber before auto here, so it could get a little bit dicey here for Team Silentes.
Yeah, KPN's going to get chased out by Blank. He can't find the last shot onto him. Eventually, was able to come and clean that up, but he's bought enough time there. KPN just living a little bit longer that is followed up on, and now we're going to see the red team be able to bust in through choke. They do see that fancy demo man. There's a bit of a threat. Sil is in as well, and Auto is taken out by Blank.
Yeah, drop there from Auto, and it looks like the push is coming through. Trum stays alive as well, crucially. And they're not going to over-push this. They're not going to try and go into lobby 2 aggro, because they know there's still 5 players alive on Team Papi.
Yeah, just going to sit on the second point, cap it out, back up, know that Trum has the Uber coming up very shortly, set themselves up for this disadvantage hold. Actually, a lot of players back out to mid, but they're a little bit slow on the draw here. The Silentes team not taking any risks.
Papi's jumped all the way behind, maybe going to get a second attempt at this.
Papi, oh, nice shot by Papi onto Blank. It's just going to pin him back. They still have the Uber ready to go. Orts is in as well, but he doesn't really see a target he can focus down on. Still is looking to go in for the wrap. We'll see if KP is able to deny him or not, but no. Big bomb into choke. Nice surf from Auto. Gets himself out of there. But Trum still has Uber. Soldier down a piece. He's just going to settle down for a minute.
Yeah, see what either of these teams have in store. Looks like Papi wants to try and work this flank. He's all the way into lobby actually. Finds a scout in here in close quarters. Probably going to win this final. KPN steals the kill. And with that pick, that opens up a lot of ground. He's still got 2 players in lobby. Papi and KPN still trying what they can. Philip gets caught on the other side. Horns is low HP as well. 1 on him. Taken up by Blank.
Blank and Drum committing deep into the mid here while a lot of chaos is happening in the backpoints. Fancy's having to duel with players without too much support. Silentes is up with him now. Silentes is going to land in choke, get the force out of Auto. Auto went pretty low there, but him and Phoenix are going to back out of there. They're going to have to give up mid for now.
A little bit open there. Blank got onto Auto but didn't quite manage to get enough damage to secure the force. As a consequence, there's actually a back cap attempt coming in here, and it might need to be dealt with at some point. It's got a long way through here. KPN might be sneaking this through. Bill's not going to be there in time. Soldiers back now, but this is one of the points. Lenter's actually lucky to survive that. 24 HP. Also taken down in the meantime.
Slowed everything down because the fight didn't go incredibly well for Papi's team on mid. But they just went in aggression. They just distracted enough while KPN was getting that back up. He's able to take the second out. They're looking to move into mid here, but there's only the one pick that's already spawned.
Yeah, they're maybe try and work. There's a lot of pressure here from the red side. Phoenix thinking about running through this choke, and they get onto Fancy. 2 players landing. Horns takes the kill, and Phoenix still running through the second point. He's going to take all the space. But in the backline, Silenta's trying his best. No, he's going to be chased out and taken down by Phoenix as well. That's now 2 picks. But Trum's going to have Uber charge so soon.
The longest lobby centers couldn't escape from the incoming surge of players, and now Fancy's caught in an awkward situation. Aggression coming in through the secret area onto him with a scout. The Uber is out, but it's just onto an engineer for now, and they're going to look to reset, but there's 5 red players ready to go with the Uber as well.
Yeah, they're straight in. Pappy's straight in onto the scout and the medic. They're just going to stack the point and sweep up the round. Very nicely done there, getting that force out onto the med and the NG. And yeah, it's a very clean conversion afterwards.
Just making the most, domino effect of picks. They got Fancy, they got Still, they moved into last, they got on a fix, they got the force. Just played it, very steady off the back of it, and just utilising all of those advantages, all of those picks that they got to the fullest.
Yeah, very good stuff there. Over on the red side of Team Papi as they take the 1-0 lead. Gonna have to contend with some soldiers attempting something here behind. Oh, Haunch takes down Bud, hung behind late. And Haunch is gonna take out Silentes as well. That's 2 soldier picks already. Papi goes down in return, but the frags are coming through here, and Trum gets taken out as well by KPN. Very nice work from the scouts over on Team Papi. Auto still holding on, 90 HP on him, not going to be tested, and it's just 1 spawner alive.
Yeah, Trump got isolated against KPN, and he obliged, just took the easy frag. It then made it very difficult. Auto was so far back that it's going to be difficult for any aggression on him to work. They made a desperate play to try and attempt it, but Auto survives, and now is 100% to move in from River.
Yes, Lentis takes out Haunt on the way in, but there's still a lot of work to do here. Phoenix up onto that heavy of Earl. We saw how much work that could do last game. Takes out Fancy in the end, but Earl the heavy has dropped onto the point again. A little bit of deja vu, maybe getting a lot of damage, and he's still got 250 health on this point. They're going to have to back out. As Blank takes out KPN and taken down by the solemn vow of Auto.
Was Trump getting the frags in the earlier match, but it's been also in this match now. He's got a lot of frags on the last map and up to another one now. Does keep himself alive. They are still at a disadvantage. Trump is going to have a good kind of 10-20 seconds before he does, but at the moment everyone on blue is just happy to settle down on last. Not exactly sure where the Uber percentages are at.
Yeah, they've still got an engineer up, so they're not really too fond on doing something with this. We've actually got Slentez up onto Sniper as well. Maybe gonna sit out the stalemate, see what they can work. Slentez thinking about peeking over towards the riverside, stepping into position. No, gets jumped on. Once that comes in, Slentez still trying to find a place to peek from with this sniper. We're very deep into lobby here, actually. I'm not really expecting so far in. Sees the beam of Auto.
Popped in that stairs area, but does survive. Nice little surf around the corner.
Yeah, you just have to see what Team Papi try here. There's a fair few things you can try and situations where you're stuck back on last list, but taking out Haunts is probably a good start. And Papi's taken out as well, so never mind. Team Salenta is getting a third kill onto Philip as well. They're surely going to try and make something happen here as the off-class switches off. Uber used out from Auto. They're going to try and get some frags here if they can, but Uber's traded out Trump with a slightly better Uber here. Phoenix is running all the way through to last. Phoenix is on last. He's going to try back cap. He's on it.
Yep.
Fancy's going for it. Against the pipes.
Great save by Fancy there. Nice stuff. It was important as well. Now the bomb
Soldiers
comes
in as well.
Happy's there as well, but everyone's just jumping into Fancy. He's going to oblige. I think Bud and Earl ended up claiming the kills, but doesn't really matter at the end of the day. The aggression doesn't pay off. Moving it out to second with those picks.
So the danger you're pushing out of Scouts from behind. It was so close from Phoenix, but well done there by Fancy. But in this next fight, KPN getting a lot of ground up here, but really hitting back Team Salenta into their own lobby here. Despite all those picks that they had, it doesn't look like they're going to get onto second.
Yeah, Smorders coming in pretty clutch and pretty fast for the red side.
Oh, there's capping! It's cap time! Second time is the charm for Phoenix.
Nice stuff. Horton were just dueling up on top of that missile. Beautiful engagement to see. But while that was happening, as you say, cap time comes in. And we're now at 2-0 to Papi's team.
Yeah, it's just these seeming teams are having a bit of trouble getting out of this this last point. It's kind of dangerous. Yes, on any map it always is. It's a hard thing on a new map to sort of gauge how is the safest way to do it, because it is risky, as has been demonstrated. It's now 2-0. Mid-fight occurs. Bit of a slower affair this time. Both teams are just standing off for now. No bombs, and yet KPN's actually going kind of deep behind, and Papi's going in. It's a big Saka here onto the red crates. And the red soldiers got Horns taken down. Papi's low as well. Philip goes down as well. So Team Salenta's 3 make that 4 players up, and Salenta gets a 3k late onto that mid fight. As Auto and Papi, the last ones to try and retreat.
Also, he's having to juke away from Fancy, hiding behind the barrels. One pipe onto him, he still survives as a rollout, and this blank is there to finish him up. Fancy goes down for it, but they won't mind that at all, as Trump now has full Uber advantage.
Yeah, it's very nice work there. They say it's hard to get out of those 2 players left so clean, dancing around behind those barrels at 95% Uber. Not quite enough.
Yeah, the clever thing from Fancy was he made sure he took out the exit route, so he had to kite forward, he had to run away from the spawners and run straight into blank.
Yeah, good coordination, and now we've got full Uber advantage. There's a heavy and an engineer to deal with. So Uber's used it very early here, straight through the choke point. Also straight on the soldiers behind, and the Sentryman's getting a kill, and the soldier's getting a kill. The Sentry's got 2 kills now. This is really not a great push out here.
Earl was able to get a lot of cap time just standing on the edge of the point from the secret area, but that's about all they got. They have got Trump out of there as well, so it's not the end of the world for the Salenta's side, but they'll still be aware that Auto has a big advantage.
Yeah, they were super paranoid there about that cap. They left the heavy on the point the whole time until second was capped, and who could blame them? We've seen some of the back cap potential. So the aggression comes back across. The Uber charge used from Auto as well in there, trying to push into mid.
Didn't see what caused that. Didn't see too much damage. Didn't see there was no sniper or anything.
Yeah, I was a bit confused there. Auto, used very early. They don't get any frags for the Uber as Team Salenta's run all the way back. See if they can get back in. They're going to get bombs in now.
Do you get the force out onto Trum? He went down to about 50 health, so has to pop out. Bud is still pretty low. They have 1 pick to work with, but nowhere near as much health as their opponents right now.
Yeah, Salenta's getting caught here on the flank. Yeah, there's a bit more poking and prodding here in the choke. Phoenix actually goes in super deep. The rest of them are trying to fight this. taking a bit of damage, and they're walking back in a Team Papi with the Uber charge advantage. Auto can now use the Uber whenever he feels the need, as they're looking all the way through. They're going to wrap round, they're going up through the flank.
Gonna catch Bud, they might get Sil as well, they can use the Uber if they need, but they get 2 more picks as well. I didn't even see.
They still haven't used yet, they're using now. The jump comes in, Papi spamming out the spawn door, and this is looking great here. Team Papi, but the spawners are coming through. They had so many frags onto last. The second point not quite capping in time.
Yeah, Phoenix just get dropped from the Uber. Did really kind of stun the aggression they wanted to make into last. I lost 1 more player, Papi, in lobby as well, so we're seeing the soldiers, Bud and Sil, going in deep. They're going to catch Philip. Oh, nice arrow onto him from Auto, but he's cleaned up by Blank nonetheless. Blank finds Horns as well, but not before Horns gets the force out onto Trump.
Yeah, catch me to Silento. Oh. Very nice. Oh, huge. And they're still walking in. They're onto Auto as well. Auto taken down. But there's a jump onto Trump. Yeah, take it out.
Yeah, as nuts as that shot was from Sil onto the KPN launch, I was in the air. Papi had gone for a sneaky play. He hid hidden behind one of the crates, launches himself in, takes Drum out, and at the end of the day, it's not the worst scenario in the world.
Speaking of sneaky plays, Sil has been sat all the way in secret. He's jumping up behind River. He's onto the medic, onto Auto, gets 1, gets a second. It's an absolute nuke. Bud and Silentes get 3 kills between them, including the medic of Auto. Great little hiding spot there, all the way down at the bottom. And they're getting more frags as well. Just Hunt survives. 1v4. They try and jump the point. Surely just get swept up here. 40 HP. Dealt with in the end.
Yeah, just great transitional play. Blank up to a 7k by the end of that, just taking the game by the scruff of the neck and putting his team back in this.
Yeah, very nice little catch there. I don't think they could have possibly known that Slenters was so deep all the way through the lobby into the water area. Yeah, there's a change of pace here. Lots of players coming in straight away, but the frags are going the way of Team Slenters, and they're getting Auto as well. Everyone's falling over on Papi's side. There's only him and Phoenix alive. Trum's still up as well on 60 HP, a little bit weak. But Earl finishes off Papi. That's a full wipe. Only 2 players lost for Team Slenters, and this change of pace didn't really seem to work too well.
No, and with no spawns up, there's going to be no contestant in second. KPN's spawned up on Engineer, but yeah, there could already be spam coming into him pretty shortly. Horns is going to go up and play on top of the missile or torpedo, I guess it is, if it's from a sub. But either way, he's going to play up on that high ground. Uber up for Trump. We'll see which direction they look to go from.
Yeah, it looks like it's going through the river again. Sentry taken down instantly. Heavy's quite far from the point here as well. Auto's not going to have Uber for a while. Horns dropping off the high ground off of that torpedo gets a good bit of damage, but the frags aren't coming through, but the cap time does in the end, coming straight through that water again. Nicely done.
Yeah, just got enough position with the Uber, pinned everyone back, and Capside come in at a crucial time when no one was really there to block.
Yeah, I guess frags don't matter if you force everyone back towards the spawn and force them away from the point.
Absolutely.
Yeah, back level. Just over 10 minutes to go here. It's tied at 2-2. Team Slenters getting back into this game. And they send a bit of a play here. Slenters and Bud are both in behind here in their opponent's flank, but there's a lot of unhealthy players over on Team Slenters here. Flank taken out.
Surf and fancies to get himself back onto the catwalk. Sil's in great in chaos as well. Finds a frag onto KPN. Trub is not going to follow Earl back into that. They don't like the look of this mid-fight. Fancy is going to get separated as well. Just going to back up, not take too many risks, and settle for a hold in second.
Yeah, it was a nice mid there. They just sort of won the damage game. It felt like at some point Team Slinter, half their team was on like less than half HP. It was not looking good. And despite having those two soldiers behind, it was very well dealt with. Auto with a nice little surf in the middle of that fight, saves himself and saves onto that Uber charge.
Bird looking to peek in from the, I guess, vent area.
And as Lenz is on a little bit of high ground here, getting a bit of spam. It might cut short the push attempt from Papi on this this flank push. They're going to get a KPN into lobby. Oh, big air shot from Silente. He's going to go for the second one for the frag move. He doesn't quite land it. Blank sweeps up the kill.
Blank's aware the KPN's in behind as well. He's going to chase it all the way back to last KPN. It's going to just two-shot him. He's going to run in.
Oh, he's going to go for the second as well.
Don't know if he can get a second. Surely not. Being a sneaky, sneaky boy.
In the meantime, Uber charges are having to be used out by Auto because it's just these soldiers with him. KPN taken down in the end. The distraction worked well for a while, but in the meantime, their medic had to force, and it looks now like Team Silentes are going to be the ones thinking about moving out here. As Papi's trying to deny this choke, but gets pushed out by Silentes.
Blank is going to find Horns on the entry, just nicely timed entry. You know, Papi was looking to spam down the choke. At the same time, Silentes pushed to made it very difficult for it to work, and now they're already chasing in town the right hand side. They're roaring onto Philip. He's going to go down, and they're wrapped fully behind. They're kind of caught on second at the moment here. The Red Boys not sure exactly where to play, not sure if they have an escape
Auto is
route.
down. Yeah, unfortunately, death for Auto, and the frags are coming through here for Team Silentes. Phoenix trying to run back. Oh, gonna catch Bud. Maybe there's two scouts in lobby on him, but the cap second has just come through. Blank's in with the medic and the demo. There's only two players up, just Haunts and Phillips to defend this last point. Philip right side getting spammed down, two scouts running in, holding W towards this point. Haunts forced back, and it's just Auto. We've seen some MGE mechanics from Auto in this game, not enough. As yeah, round number 3 for Team Silentes.
Yeah, just breakneck stuff, just really playing at high pace, high speed, really quick transitions and making the most of it. Philip was not ready for the aggression coming in through that flank area and getting caught out, put them on the back foot all the way, and just well played.
Yeah, got pincered there on that second point, as you say. Yeah, it looks like both soldiers in super early here. Just to take the health pack. Papi going to find a frag, and Trum goes down as well. It's a good start to the mid-fight here for Team Papi if they're going to come back into this. They're forced out now all the way back to Blue's second, but they can re-engage only Blank and Fancy up on the point with no medic for heals to help them out. Good pipes by Fancy. Going to need more though where that came from, taken out by Phoenix. Yeah, nice mid-fight.
The control point is being captured.
Yeah, they made it work at the end of the day. They were probably nervous that they knew they couldn't wait around their opponent's second too long, as they would have got
Control point.
pinched by the incoming spawners, but they just about played it slow enough. They utilised the heal advantage. Sills up on the sniper, takes a shot, doesn't find a frag with it, and now the red side looking to draw us back even as they move in with uber advantage.
Yeah, getting ready. Looks like it's going to be a pop through the wall, so no, they're going to rotate round to the right hand side. Uber used out very quickly. They're straight onto Trum, did a lot of damage to him. Sentry taken down. There's a heavy with the brass beast sat in secret, gets taken out instantly.
Well, eventually he's taken out. He's fighting with KP and he's getting flashed, and it's going to keep Earl nice and healthy. They've played a lot of players here actually on the red side, but Auto's going to escape. At least they got the Uber out of Drum, so also,
he's weak.
Nice little surf, keeps himself alive, gets a mini health back as well. Still 37 health, so doesn't want to tussle too much, doesn't want to put himself too much in the action. But they are going to be able to recycle the fight now with a pick onto the demo.
Yeah, they might try and think about working something here. It looks like they are. Papi's all the way in this left hand side. Jumping across Trying to find a frag, taking a lot of space. These soldiers are very, very high up here for Team Papi. He's trying to make something work, but they're caught in. They've not got too much blank with that brass beast. Gets the kill into the demo, which might halt proceedings for this push. Earl's in as well, and the Uber charge is used out from Trum. They want to go in. 2 players alive, just KPN and Auto. They're really going to try and hold on to this Uber for as long as they can. Auto escaping with the Uber for now. Yeah, it looks like he's all the way out.
Just stuck in the gap here. I mean, it was still 6 versus 4 there. I think they could have just left one and maybe pushed on to try and get the player Auto, but obviously you're risking just getting caught by a kind of a nuclear Uber if you're overcommitting. So
there's
it's
forward
safe.
spawns as well. Going through. Yeah, it looks like the red side are going to try and create the second point without too much contesting. An Uber charge used in. They want to get onto Trum very, very quickly. Who's up on 80%. Managed to escape to the spawn, and second hasn't been capped yet, so they can't start pressuring the point yet. And this just means that Trum's getting closer and closer to that 100%, which he now has. So he can use at will, and second still hasn't been capped this whole time. Auto's taken super low in water as he's forced all the way back out. Taken down in the end by Blank.
Yeah, it's cleaned up in front of his demo man, unfortunately, and now Sil is looking to push it. Philip does escape with a low amount of health, but 100% Uber advantage, which they're going to cap. Second up, look towards midweek. Going into the kind of final phase, final 5 minutes of this game. And it's Silentis' team has the advantage, has the Uber advantage, until Trum is forced.
Yeah, they're walking in, see how many frags they can get for this Uber. They've got 3 already at the cost of Silentis. Might be getting a 4th onto this Scout as well. Yet Phoenix taken down, and it's just Auto and KPN. Running all the way back to lobby, there's a bit of pressure chasing. They're going to get out in time. Just in the nick of time. Yeah, the forward spawn being trapped off. Papi taken out by it. Maybe still Haunt sat in there thinking about trying something.
It's a funny little forward spawn. The fact it's just so directly in front of the point is. I don't know if there's a single other map I can think of where a forward spawn is just so directly in front.
Yeah, it could be strong for like a heavy or something. If you pin back, you can maybe deny with that. But as it stands, yeah, Team Silentes is going to be even Ubers, even players. But Team Silentes, 3 minutes on the clock. They don't necessarily have to make things work if they don't want to. But Silentes himself taken out. And Uber used in already. Auto pops very early. Trum uses in response onto Fancy. But lots of good ground being taken here by the Red Scouts as they run across the point.
Oh, re-aggression onto Philip, takes it down very low. There's a backup as well. Bud! He's done it! He's a genius!
Oh, he's straight in. They absolutely needed that because the fight was not necessarily going their way on second. Great work, and that may almost seal the deal.
Yeah,
2 minutes 40 to play.
2 quick rounds required now by the Papi side if they want to bring this back. It's a tall order. They'll need a very decisive mid-fight.
We have seen a 60.2 second round earlier, so it is possible, definitely. Gonna have to make it work perfectly though, as going to Papi early, and Fancy goes down as well. So Demo's down here for the blue side. But Auto's taking a lot of damage. Blanks in, gonna get one frag, gonna go into the medic as well, not taking him down. Phoenix dancing around. Yeah, both medics taken down in the end.
Cylinder's just spamming poverty rockets. Long range was enough to finish up Auto. But that's what they needed. They just needed that frag onto the medic. That's probably going to slow the red side down enough. Mid-cap comes in, they win the mid-fight. They might even be able to walk in and start peeking second. They've got 2 scouts ready for second. Auto stick in the minigun, so they're not twisting just yet, but yeah, time against them very much.
Yeah, especially when there's an Uber charge of Trum to get as well. And there's 6 players that have absolutely no incentive to leave this last point. Or go for anything too crazy as the timer ticks down.
No off classes, no quit screen, no funny weapons. as far as I can tell. Off classes for the defense, obviously, the engineer has his sentry gun taken out, but it's not too much damage at the end. Still, the hordes are going to duel and actually trade. Some of them actually trade at point blank in the secret area, but it's not going to be too bad at the end of the day for the defensive side for Sil's team. They're going to take the Uber in onto Phoenix. It's going to be a trade.
Yeah, it's not looking like they're going to get too much. Actually, going to get Phoenix into the water area. They're going to get a frag for it, but 40 seconds left. They don't just need this round; they need another one as well. So they probably needed a little bit more from that. Because, yeah, Papi gets a couple of frags. Might just try and sack in. Going to get people on the cap. Is anyone going to be able to block this? Yeah, Fancy goes onto it. Denies for the second, but 4-3, and tradition continues as we go to within one round, but with like 10 seconds to play. That will be GG.
Yeah, good stuff again. I was super impressed with just how fast the game played, how fast the teams were able to make the transitions. Particularly when you had the Silentis side there, when they had picks, when they had advantages, they really made the most of them and were able to push from mid and get in towards last very, very quickly, utilizing the I guess it's the toxic kind of flank area. And yeah, there are shutters. There is quite a large lobby area you could potentially play to defend from it, but good stuff. I would say kind of one thing that stood out to me was there was kind of that one round that was, I can't remember which side. I think it was probably Silentis' team, where they sacked a load of, in fact no, it was Papi's team. They sacked a load of players into last. I think they ended up sacking like 4 players into last. Fancy basically killed all of them. But then Silentis tried to push back out to second, and at least one of the scout spawners was up from mid into that second fight very, very quickly. So, things like spawn times are, they are finicky. They are a case of getting, things pretty exact. You do need to probably just wiggle them around a little bit to find exactly what's right. But it was just a minor thing that it seemed that the offensive spawns when teams had control of the fourth point were pretty quick.
Yeah, we saw that sort of in we saw a few examples of teams getting, when they got stuck back on their last point. We saw a few sort of failed push out attempts even with big advantages, but yeah, that probably plays into it. I guess also probably unfamiliarity with the map, but yeah, the spawn timers might play a factor there. What I did like as well is sort of something you see on a couple of maps, particularly I'm thinking Gully Wash. What strat which teams were using, particularly around that second area. Because we saw it a bit more this time, where teams were sort of ringing through the flank and they'd try and get people into lobby and sort of try and fight from behind. And they had a couple of times where defending teams on their second were sort of caught in sort of the crossfires of teams of another team split up either side in a war of two fronts. I think it's pretty cool that teams were sort of trying that and making it work, and that the map allows for it.
Yeah, definitely. Both teams were having a lot more headway pushing in through the toxic area in towards those shutters, and they were always able to find space in there. They weren't really posturing much through choke, much through the vent area. Traditionally if you think about this map as like a process, you tend to see more kind of combo action through sewer and choke than you do through IT. So this just plays like a slight reverse of that. It might be a case that as teams get more familiar, as a meta develops, that they invest a bit more resources. Even just a soldier probably holding around one of those shutters might be quite hard to dislodge, might be able to get early forces onto them. But interesting stuff so far, and there's more coming tomorrow.
Yeah, we can talk about the logs from that game, I think, before we send. I've got to say, Blank had an absolute stormer of map number 3, 34-16 over on Blue Scout.
Top damage as well.
Yeah, 300 DPM, huge work. And I guess sort of kind of tied into that is Trum only died 5 times over the whole map, which is great work for them.
Yeah. I mean, Auto was having a lot of flashy moments, having a lot of crazy survivors, a lot of crazy surfs, but kind of as that third map kind of wore on, you could see Blank and Trump really get into a rhythm, really get, both being able to absorb aggression, being able to kite when they needed to, but also power forward when they had those advantages and make transitions work in their favour.
Yeah, for sure. It was very well played from them. Yeah, on the other side, Phoenix had a high kill game as well. 27 frags over on the side of the Red Pocket Scout. So not quite up there with Blank, but not too far off. Did a pretty good job. And he particularly had a couple of back caps and back cap attempts. It was worked pretty well. Yeah, I think that is all for today, I believe.
Yeah, have you got any final words, any thoughts on the map, or any kind of shout outs you want to make?
Well, just like thoughts on the map. I think these are obviously both maps that like clearly there's very good, especially they've been trialed before, and there's clearly been good work put into them, both visually and sort of in sort of game tweaks and that. And I'm sort of interested to see that as tomorrow comes around, teams will have more time to play them and maybe come up with more ideas and sort of have more of an idea of what works, what doesn't work. So we're always still learning game to game, which is quite an exciting situation to be in. With any map or anything like that, when things are sort of when you see the meta kind of developing, that's kind of cool. But yeah, it's been great fun.
Great stuff. We'll be back tomorrow. It'll be Lucky, Dum-Tum, and Beta from 19 Cest for it's going to be the lower bracket final, followed by the grand final at 21 here on Team Fortress TV. Check it out. I've been Dave, joined by Ben and J-Max, are doing great work behind the camera. We'll see you tomorrow.
Goodbye.